Fox 66 News, first at 10.
Is not guilty as charged in the article of impeachment.
White. Senators voting in the negative.
The historic and unprecedented second impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump has come to an end. Good evening, I'm Brian Wilk. In a day of twists and turns, the second impeachment trial of former President Trump comes to an end with an acquittal. You're looking live at the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. The Senate voted 57 to 43, 10 votes shy of a conviction. Fox News correspondent Ray Bogan has the latest reaction from Washington.
Former President Trump is not guilty of inciting an insurrection after a 57 to 43 vote. All 50 Democrats and 7 Republicans voted to convict, including Louisiana Republican Senator Bill Cassidy.
Our Constitution and our country is more important than any one person.
In a speech moments after he voted not guilty, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell declared the trial was unconstitutional, but said the former president is culpable.
Former President Trump's actions preceded the riot for a disgraceful dereliction of duty.
As the violence unfolded and the Capitol was breached, and his own vice president fled for his life, and President Trump did nothing.
The House managers say, although they lost, the votes show a majority of both the House and Senate believe Mr. Trump is guilty.
What we saw in that Senate today was a cowardly group of Republicans who apparently have no options because they were afraid to defend their job.
The former president reacted to his acquittal in a statement, quote, "This has been yet another phase of the greatest witch hunt in the history of our country." Mr. Trump also hinted at some type of a comeback, saying it's just the beginning of his movement and he'll have much to share in the coming months. In Washington, Ray Bogan, Fox 66 News.
Let's go to weather now. Meteorologist Craig Flint has your Fox First forecast. Hey, Craig.
Brian, it's a little interesting tonight because we've had this very fine mist and freezing drizzle. So secondary roadways will be a little slick. We have low cloud deck, and those type of clouds can't produce an actual snowflake. Although with time, I wouldn't be surprised if there were a passing snow shower. There have been a few out there, so take a look live right now, Chestnut Street in Meadville. So radar can't pick up drizzle. It's just so fine, but there is some out there. And again, it's freezing drizzle, so watch out for some of that on the secondary side streets. 26, no wind, and a barometer, 30.08 of mercury. So we're in the mid-20s, probably drop to near 20, maybe some flakes around first thing on your Valentine's Day. And then during the day, well, we'll give you some breaks in the clouds. It'll be cold on Sunday, so snuggle up. More in the forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Brian, over to you.
Thanks, Craig. One man is dead after an early morning fire in Ripley, New York. The fire broke out around 5:30 Saturday morning in the 9,000 block of Old Route 20 in Ripley. Crews discovered that the homeowner, identified as 63-year-old Richard McCutcheon, died in the blaze. According to the Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office, an investigation into the cause of the fire and Mr. McCutcheon's death is ongoing. Some positive signs in the fight against COVID-19. Daily new cases are trending downward and the vaccine rollout is getting faster, with pharmacies expected to take on a major role in the coming weeks. But another potential hurdle could get in the way of that progress: vaccine skepticism. Fox News correspondent Alex Hogan has the latest on the pandemic, plus how many Americans are still undecided about the vaccine.
As COVID-19 cases continue to fall, more and more states are loosening restrictions. Just in time for Valentine's Day, Minnesota expanded capacity rules for restaurants, gyms, and private events. Ohio lifted a statewide curfew that's been in place for nearly 3 months. And in New York City, reopened indoor dining at 25% capacity, bringing much-needed relief for restaurants.
People need this now more than ever, a chance to relax and a small reprieve from all the stress of this whole period.
As states roll back restrictions, the vaccine rollout is steadily gaining speed. The U.S. administered an average of nearly 1.7 million doses a day over the past week. That's higher than the Biden administration's goal of 1.5 million. Pharmacies like CVS and Walgreens will start to play a larger role as the federal government increases its vaccine supply to states, sending some directly to the pharmacies themselves.
I'm pretty excited. I've been like living on my computer trying to get an appointment.
Meanwhile, in the UK, the University of Oxford plans to test its AstraZeneca vaccine on children, becoming the latest company to assess the impact of COVID-19 vaccines on young people. The upcoming trial will include 300 volunteers ages 6 to 17, with as many as 240 getting the real dose.
We know that with all vaccines that people can feel a bit unwell in the first few days. And so we just need to be able to establish that profile in children.
As vaccine distribution improves, another problem may arise. Nearly 1/3 of Americans say they are unsure of whether or not they will get the vaccine. In New York, Alex Hogan, Fox 66 News.
The State Department of Health is reporting over 100 new COVID-19 deaths. Here are the latest COVID-19 numbers for our region. Erie County now reporting 82 new positive cases, with a total now at 16,466. Crawford County reported 19 additional cases. Warren County up 12. Now, Chautauqua County does not report totals on the weekends. Ashtabula County reports 25 new cases. Across the Commonwealth, 4,088 new cases reported. That brings the total to over 892,000. An additional 113 new deaths were also reported. Many senior living centers in Erie are getting their residents vaccinated. Julia Hazel spoke with one of the residents at Independence Court of Erie and has the story.
Independence Court of Erie has received their second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine.
I wanted this so bad, I couldn't wait.
Senior resident Jack Shoemaker says he feels safe after receiving both doses of the COVID-19 vaccine.
It was good that I am getting it. My whole family, I have a family of 8 and we've all gotten a vaccination now. I strongly recommend everybody gets it.
Specifically for this senior living center, 90% of those who were able got vaccinated for the first dose. Now that today marks the second dose for the COVID-19 vaccine, people are saying that they're excited and hopeful that maybe soon they'll be able to see their family and friends for in-person visits.
It's just more of a sense of hope that they're finding, and a sense of hope for myself as well, that we are going to get back to normal and they are going to see their families. We are going to be able to have picnics outside.
Jack says don't be afraid to get the vaccine. It will be wonderful for the country.
The country will be in much better condition with everybody vaccinated. Hopefully no more deaths.
Julia Hazel, Fox 66 News.
Here's a look at the regional COVID-19 vaccination numbers. In Erie County, there have been 27,590 total vaccinations. In Crawford County, 15,981 vaccinations have been performed. In Warren County, 5,277 shots have been given. Across Pennsylvania, more than 1.88 million people have been vaccinated. Next week, we present a series of stories on COVID-19 and communities of color. We'll talk to local experts and the brown and black communities about access to the COVID-19 vaccine and whether they will get it. And on Wednesday, February 17th, we present a special report on this topic live on our sister station Jet 24 and streaming on yourerie.com at 7:30 p.m. Jet 24 Action News is your local election headquarters. Mill Creek Supervisor John Morgan announced today he will be running again. The 38-year-old Democrat has held the position since 2015. When he first ran, his focus was on public service and community engagement. Morgan says currently they are working on some major projects, including the Gateway to Presque Isle. He also shared his vision for this year if elected in 2021.
It's about reaching out to the community, and we've done that with the Embrace Mill Creek plan. Over 2,000 residents participated in that. So I believe we've got a community vision, and I think I'm the right man to help implement it.
For all the latest election news anytime, you can turn to your local election headquarters, yourerie.com. A vigil was held today in Perry Square to protest the military coup in the Southeast Asian country of Myanmar. The military seized control on February 1st, demanding a recount of the November election, claiming it was fraudulent. Now, this was following the general election, which the National League for Democracy Party won. The protesters over the coup have been the largest since 2007.
Like just showing the support to the people there, and then show that like the world is watching to the military, that we're trying to spread the awareness and throughout, even little by little.
This is the second week in a row people across the United States are protesting. Coming up on Fox 66 News, a top aide to New York's governor says the state covered up data on the COVID death toll at nursing homes. We'll have the latest. Plus, we'll tell you about one man's impersonation of actor Sylvester Stallone and how he was able to perform at this year's Super Bowl. And going to the dogs, a businessman's last will and testament leaves millions to his faithful four-legged companion.
See news happening?